Hello there and welcome to Understanding IELTS. In this video we will talk a little bit about the IELTS exam. This video is going to be great for you if you have never taken the IELTS test or if you have taken it and you want to refresh your memory. So it's going to be very basic, so I want to tell you in advance. Let's get started. So why this test? Well, because the IELTS is a very popular test. In case you didn't know, it stands for International English Language Testing System. It is used in countries like the UK or in places like the UK, in Australia, in New Zealand as well, and also in Canada. I'm sure that other places use this one. So it is used in many countries, and most of the time this test is taken for two reasons. Number one, we want to study in higher education. Maybe we want to go to a college, to a university, to do maybe a bachelor's, a diploma, a master's. And when we want to get into those universities, we are asked to show an IELTS score. And the other reason might be for migration purposes. I am based in Australia, so if you want to get a permanent residency, if you want to get a different visa, if you want to extend your stay in the country, most of the time you need an IELTS score. And this test is divided into two modules. So if you want to go and study, it's going to be the academic IELTS for you, especially for higher education. And if you're looking at migration purposes, most of the time the general IELTS will do. Another case when you need an academic IELTS might be if you have studied something in your country, you have some work experience, and then you want to validate that experience in Australia. They will say, okay, can you please give us your degree? Can you please give us an IELTS score of X, maybe 6 or 7, hence the course. And then, this is one of those reasons. And this test is extremely popular all around the world. There are other ones like TOEFL, TOEIC, First Certificate of English, and there are many tests, but IELTS is a safe one. I always tell my students that getting a good score in IELTS is good because everybody around the world knows this test, especially if you're going to an English-speaking country. Okay, so we talked a little bit about academic, general. Let's get into the actual test. So how is it? What are you going to get? What will you face? So the test is divided into 4 sections. So we've got the speaking, and this one is separate. This one is on its own. And then we have listening, writing, and reading. These 3 are together. So first, let's talk about speaking. On the speaking test, you are going to have an interview with an IELTS examiner. So basically, you're going to be on a face-to-face interview. You'll be asked some questions, and then you will have a conversation. The interview goes for about 10 or let's say 12 to 15 minutes. And usually it's before or after you take the written or computer-based test. So when we have the listening, reading, and writing, it's divided, they're all together. The listening test takes 30 minutes most of the time, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more. And then reading and writing, they both take an hour each. So when we combine all of them, we get, like we have there, 2 hours and 45 minutes of testing time. And like I said before, we have paper-based, where you can do everything by hand, or we've got computer-based, where you can do things on the computer. At the time of making this video, May 2021, I can say that in my experience over the last, let's say, 2 years from the COVID pandemic, it's becoming more popular or more common to do the computer test IELTS. So that's just a hint I'll throw in out there. I know some students really like to do everything by hand and they want to do the paper version, but it looks like everything is moving more into the computer-based version. So quick tip is to start working on your typing speed. And if you're like me and your handwriting is not pretty, this is a good chance to get the computer-based version of the test. Just before we finish, because I don't want to make the video too long, many people ask, is the academic very difficult? Is the general very difficult? What's the main difference? So in short, let's say the vocabulary is a bit different because, like I said before, one is aimed at going to university to do some form of higher education studies, and the other one is, like the name says, is more general. So the difficulty might be more on the vocabulary. This is more for the listening and the reading sections. For the writing, the main difference is on task 1. So the general IELTS needs to write a letter, and on the academic we usually describe a graph, or we have to describe a process most of the time, yeah. And then the speaking section would be the same. I don't think there is much difference between those. And well, look, like I said, I don't want to keep this video too long. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you get your drink, get your pen, get your notebook, get ready for the next video. I hope you like it. I will see you there, and well, bye for now.